Hey everyone, welcome back. I already have a candle burning. I am trying to build my emergency fund now that I'm out of debt from my credit cards. I like to announce that my credit score went up 16 points since last year. These habits I'm going to talk about are ones that has worked for me and may benefit you. I have been very interested in budgeting since 10 years ago probably. I started with a piece of paper and I actually wrote down all my expenses and calculated it just like that. But now I have a budget on my Google Sheets. I track it weekly and it keeps me in line with all my expenses and where my money is going. I'm gonna share what I'm doing right now. Money feels a little bit more different now because I feel like I have more control over it. My mindset has shifted. We're more intentional in spending and I truly know where my money is going. Back then, I was paying $250 or $300 in interest, in credit card interest. Now that I'm outside of consumer debt, my mindset shifted where I'm more intentional in where my money goes now. I set a goal for myself this year to do a low buy intentional quarter. So this quarter is really showing me and building habits for me to be more intentional on my purchases, not to spend so much and to utilize what I have right now. And also if I don't have it, I borrow it first. Past year alone in 2025, I went from being $20,000 in credit card debt down to zero. So that's a huge milestone. So habit number one is to track everything. Open your bank statements, have no judgment to them. It's purely just tracking as information. By looking at your bank statements, you'll see patterns to make you more aware. Now the thing is here is that you don't want to check constantly, but regularly. Say like once a week. That's a really good start. Overall, you just want some more clarity on where your money is going. Overall, tracking isn't about perfection, it's about clarity and more awareness. Habit number two is now I'm using my credit card like a debit card. That mindset wasn't as clear to me before, but now I see it where the credit card is like a debit card, but with perks. Say if you use a debit card, buy it and then that's it. If you use a credit card, you rack up points for travel or you get cash back or some other perks that are available out there. For me, I use the Amex Cobalt as much as possible. So by using credit cards like a debit card is truly being aware of only spending what I can pay off. Habit number three is paying off your credit card in full every single month. So when you get that statement at the end of the month, pay that off right away within the few days of getting that statement. Because from that statement up until due date, the credit card company is charging you interest. So paying it off in full as soon as you get the statement frees you from paying any interest. I treat this as a non-negotiable because having that weight off your shoulders of not paying interest feels better. On top of that, your credit score builds up. Now this habit number four is my secret weapon now. It's probably one of my favorite hacks and it took me like 5 years to really understand what it is, and it's sinking funds. And a sinking fund is a dedicated savings fund for a specific purchase. Its main purpose is to avoid debt, because you specifically save that amount of money and you're covered. Say a huge expense like a car maintenance bill came up. At that moment, you can use your credit card to get all the perks and points, then you use that sinking fund to pay it off completely. You intentionally saved it up so you don't go into debt. I currently have 6 sinking funds. The biggest one is taxes. I try to save 30%. I'm just getting started. So the main one is, I called it Life Buffer. So this is a buffer in my checking account. This is a buffer for all my bills every single month. Just in case some income doesn't come right away, I have enough. Next one is car and home. So any random car accessories or car maintenance or home improvements or home repairs, that's a fund for that. Next one is life extras. I called it intentional wants before. I think life extras give it a little sparkle into it. So for that one, I give myself a certain amount every single month for all the fun stuff like going to a coffee shop and getting a really fancy drink, or going out and getting something fun at the farmer's market, that kind of thing. The next one I have called is annual and gifts. So this is all my annual subscriptions that I'll save up throughout the year and all the gifts for birthdays and the holidays, and it prevents me from going into debt. The last one I recently opened and it's for my tattoo removal. I have a few tattoos that I'm getting rid of because now it's been 7-8 years since I got those tattoos. I'm at that point in my life that I don't want them anymore. So last time I did my tattoo removal was like 3 years ago. And back then I was racking up so much debt that I had to pause. But now I'm out of debt. I have enough money set aside in my sinking fund to pay it off once I go to my appointment. Overall, for all these sinking funds, I use Wealthsimple. I opened all these checking accounts so I can earn some interest while the money's sitting in there. Overall, sinking funds has changed my life and I will continue using them. So habit number 5 is building an emergency fund. I have 2 months saved, but my goal is 6 months, so that's a work in progress. Having an emergency fund creates some kind of safety net of not just financial, but emotional as well. The emergency fund is strictly not my spending money. It is set aside for emergencies only. So having this emergency fund in a high yield savings account, it's letting my emergency funds earn something without any risk. This habit is probably the most boring habit, but it works quietly and you have this safety net for yourself. Habit number 7 is investing. If you invest in your TFSA, anything you earn within that account is tax-free. If you're a Canadian, utilize that. Open one right now. If you have money in your checking account, keep a certain amount of money for all your bills. Move that money into a high-yield savings account and or a TFSA so you can earn money instead of just your money sitting there. So my way of investing is very much long-term, set it, forget it kind of thing. If you're in your 20s, investing now, even if it's like $5 a month, your future self will thank you for investing early. So all these habits, habit 1, tracking everything. Habit 2 is using credit cards like debit card. Habit 3 is paying off those credit cards in full every single month. Habit 4 is sinking funds. Habit 5 is building an emergency fund. Habit 7 is investing. All these habits I've worked on for the past 10 years, and it's just now where it feels like I'm more stable. Getting out of debt is kind of hard, but starting small, having these little steps, you'll be more aware of where your money is going and what your habits are doing to your finances. Things to remember is being aware, automate, and be more intentional. Now these are a lot of habits that I just shared, but even starting with one over the course of a few months will help you build and shift a mindset in your brain that you got this. Everyone's financial journey will be very different from each other. It won't be perfect at all, but the thing is to remember is to be consistent, disciplined, and aware. Financial peace didn't come from one big move. It came from small habits done consistently. My goal is to have a fully funded emergency fund, stay debt-free, and build my wealth. And in order to do that, I have built these small little habits over time to the point where my mindset has shifted that I continue to grow. My financial journey is still ongoing, so I hope this inspires you in some way to start that little habit for you to start going down your financial independence journey. Wherever you're at right now, give yourself a little more grace. Everyone's financial journey out there is very emotional and can be very difficult. Well, I think that wraps it up, so thank you for sitting with me watching this video. Please share any comments, questions down below, and I want a disclaimer that I am not a financial advisor, but my husband is. These are just things that have worked for me in the past 10 years, and hoping that all these things that I shared with you will help you take that next step in your financial independence and financial control. And I'm really glad you're here.